We are live and welcome to the Hope Shot. I'm Jay. Thank you everyone for joining us. I was a tad late myself, so we're going to hop right on into this thing, man. We got a special guest today. Roy is going to come up with the topics, but before we get started with that, does anyone have the clarity statement? And
I do. Hope Shot clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being a part of our family.
Awesome. Thank you, Caesar. So once again, I want to welcome everybody for being here. We got Nate, Caesar, Justin, Roy. Roy, thank you for joining us today. Why don't you tell everybody what the topic is, how you came up with it, and what it means to you?
All right. So I'm Roy. I'm grateful for another day of recovery. The topic I chose was the power to change, because that is so important to me. Because I remember before I came here, like I thought my life was my life. I was just going to run it till the wheels fell off. I was powerless to change anything in my life. So might as well just keep doing what I'm doing until I died and ended up in jail, or something else stopped me. I didn't believe that I had the power to make the changes necessary to stop using, to stop lying, cheating, stealing, selling drugs. Like I thought that was all that my life was cracked up to be, and to be honest with you, I was okay with that. And like, thank God that the universe had other plans for me. When I got arrested, I didn't think I would make it then. I just figured they might as well throw me in jail now. And so I came into the fellowship, and I met some people in recovery, and I saw people with that had come from the same places I had come from, and I saw them with a better life, and it took a little while. It took a little while for of me just coming around, trying to figure out how to just get a day clean. That's how it started. Trying to figure out everything, right? We got to change everything when we get here. And that is overwhelming. But the 12-step program gave me my power back, right? And with that, it gave me the opportunity to make different choices. Who I surround myself with, what I do on a daily basis. And that power to change, that choice and that power to change is the most precious thing that I have. And so that's why the topic is so dear to me. And it goes along with something I heard when I first came around. It says the lie is dead, right? Like, once an addict, always an addict. You'll always be that way. The stigma, you guys talk about that a lot. The stigma of being an addict, man. Like so the literature that I was raised up on, and it says something about the stigma of being an addict will be the last thing that we lose, because it doesn't matter how long I've got clean, right? When I tell people, like, if I choose to tell somebody that I'm an addict to this day, certain people automatically look at me as something and take away from my capability or possibilities of what I might be able to do just based off of hearing that information. That stigma is a real hard thing to lose. That's why I love the Hope Shot. That's why all you guys that are on here, man, I commend all of you, and I love watching you on here. I love to see the things that you guys are doing, man, because the lie is dead today, right? Like, everybody says that. They say people don't change. But I watch people change every day since I came to recovery. It's the most amazing thing that I see, is to watch somebody. I go into some of these recovery centers and I get to speak. Sometimes I get the honor of speaking, like I got the honor to speak here. I didn't take a minute to thank you guys for having me on, by the way. Like, I'm honored. I appreciate it. I'm grateful for the opportunity to sit up here with you guys. But like, to see somebody come from the streets and hit these recovery centers and the way they are when they first get here, and then to watch them get out of there and come to meetings, and to see them start to change, start to grow, get jobs back, rebuild relationships, and just become completely different people, you know, to see people that I've known that were here when I got here and watch their lives continue to change. Like, that's the big thing, right? Like we come here and we change one thing, man. We stop using, we stop drinking, we stop doing whatever our vice is, right? And then we open our ears and we start to listen. We start to take suggestions. We start to shut our mouths and follow. And then after a while, like, you realize that the change never stops. The change never stops. So I just got approved for a grant to go back to school, to continue my education. I've always wanted to be a business owner. I thought that was one of the things that my addiction had taken from me, something I'd never have back, right? Like, that's a new change in my life, you know, and I've been here for a little while, you know, and I was really content. Like, my life is amazing today. You know, I have 2 beautiful children. I have a great job. You know, I have really good people in my corner today that I can count on for anything. And I have so many blessings, the relationships with my family, with my mother. My father's moving here. I hadn't seen him in 9 years, and he was just down here. He decided to move down here. And, you know, an opportunity to rebuild that. Like, the change is amazing, because I didn't have the willingness to rebuild those relationships before I came and learned another way to live, you know. And I see other people that were here before I got here, and the things that they are continuing to do, continuing to grow, continuing to change. Like, our dreams change. You achieve things that you never thought you would. We don't just stop there. Like, the change continues, you know. And that power to change comes with just a simple choice to wake up every morning and say that I'm going to be the best man that I can be, and I'm not going to use, right? And with that, all the doors are open, you know. And it takes a while, because I didn't believe that even after I'd been here. But like, I see that today, and I want to grasp those opportunities. And it's not about not being grateful for what I have. It's about wanting to realize my full potential, become the person that I was supposed to be before I fell off the rails, you know. And so that power to change, I'm grateful for it every day. And I'm grateful for the choice to be able to change things in my life that aren't working for me, to change things in my life that could be better, and to actually, like, aspire to more. Because I remember when I was out there, I had no aspirations to do anything. My dreams were gone. You know, the only dream I had when I got here was just not to go to prison, you know, not to lose my son. Those were my dreams, not to lose those things, those most valuable things. And I didn't know how to do that. And, you know, the program, the people, the fellowship, recovery, and the willingness to make other choices in a higher power have given me the power to change today. And as long as I'm willing to, you know, not be afraid to make choices to grow and continue to make the right choices, I will continue to change and evolve as my life changes. Because just because I got clean, like, life don't start happening, and things change all the time, and I can either change with them or I can resist that, you know. And the power to change, like, that's the only way that I stay here and continue on this amazing journey that I've been afforded by the grace of God. So that's why it was an important topic for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Roy, man. That's such a great topic. And I heard you talk about people coming out of, you know, programs and stuff like that. It's funny. I got a call today before I bring up Nate to go next. I just want to do a little shout out. I got a call today from somebody that was in CRC, and I had no idea that they get to watch the Hope Shot in there. And they were like, you know, he asked if I could, you know, call me regularly, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, hey, and keep doing what you're doing on the Hope Shot, man, because, like, we get to watch it and you guys bring hope. So shout out to CRC and any other program that's watching us in there, because I remember when we first sat at Justin's table, that was something we really, really wanted to be in, was in those type of buildings. So with that being said, my man Nate, way out there on the other coast, baby.
Yeah.
You, man. Let's see what you got on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a hope shot in itself. You know, I'm in California. I just left Denver. Going to San Francisco in the morning, then ending up in Portland. And I promise, for a guy like me, without changing and believing that I have power to change, none of this would be possible. And yeah, what a great topic, because, and you know, what I perceived as change before I got here, and what I perceive it as today is completely, you know, like what do I want to change? Before I get here, I want to what? I don't want to go to prison anymore. You know, I would like to have a home. I'd like for people to like me again, because I've burnt every bridge and hurt everybody I could possibly hurt. But my problem is I attach change, happiness, all these things on stuff that's external. I attach it to a job I don't have. I attach it to a girlfriend. I'll attach it to everything that's going on outside of me. So when I'm doing that, I have zero control of what's going on in my life, because I can't expect all those things to ever be consistent or anything like that. So for me, the power to change all begins with, first of all, accepting that there are things that I need to change about myself, because I was in denial for so many fucking years, man. I didn't know. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I knew that, substance A, B, and C caused me to go here, and for this to happen or that to happen. I understood that part. But what I didn't understand was all the stuff backstage that was really calling the shots. My insecurities, my fears, my self-worth, my codependence, my all these things that I have in this mind that's just always eating at me, man. And that's one of the biggest things I wanted to change too. And the only solution I ever had was to stick a needle in my arm, and I would shut it up for just a minute. That voice telling me I have to do this, or that I'm worthless, or I'll always be this way. All these things, all these voices that were always telling me who I was, and what was going to happen next. Anyway, so yeah, I get in here and I realize that my change has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on outside of me. It has nothing to do with me going to prison. It has nothing to do with me having a job, having a car, having a family. None of these things, because those things couldn't get me sober in the first place. So how will they ever keep me sober? So my change had to originate within. I had to do a couple things. First, I had to ask for help. Second, I had to admit what my problem was. I had to admit who I was, what I was, before. How can I address something that I don't have any idea about? So I had to figure out what was going on. What is my disease? Why do I continue to do the things I continue to do? And so a little identification, and then most importantly, I had to admit I was powerless. And I hate that term. I hated that term, because I associated powerless with being weak, with not being good enough, whatever, losing. And it's the exact opposite. Me being powerless means I embrace the fact that I am powerless over people, places, and things. And once I am truly embrace that fact, I no longer am controlled by things outside of me. I understand that these things are what they are, and they have no bearing on my happiness, my joy, my serenity, my sobriety, nothing. And for me, that was one of my greatest evolutions. For once, I could let go of, and I completely let go of it. I still have my fears. I still have my insecurities. I'm still awkward. You know what I mean? And, but I could finally understand that how somebody looks at me, or, what type of car I drive, or what type of shoes I have. None of these mean anything. All that matters is who I am inside. And that's where this change for me was most important. And the only way I could get to the root of it. So like I said, I admit I'm powerless, and now I have to ask for help, not only from another person in this recovery deal, but I have to ask somebody outside of myself, which is whatever you identify, God, universe, Buddha, whatever. It doesn't matter. I had to believe, and so I had to connect to something greater than myself. And for me, that's where my biggest change came, because with that, I finally could, relinquish control. I could let go. I could ask for help. And that vulnerability and that surrender meant everything to me, And when I truly did that, everything in my life started to change. And most importantly, my perception of the world started to change. How I was able for once to put myself into somebody else's shoes, how I was finally able to see my part in the wreckage of my past, to be able to accept that which I couldn't control. And now, so I stick around for a little bit, and I'm doing this work, and I'm I get some years under my belt, and what does that mean? Do I stop seeking out change? Do I stop the work? I feel like it's even more important the longer you stay sober to keep searching, because I've seen, and Johnny can attest, we've had friends that have long-term recovery, man, and stop doing what's working, stop trying to better themselves, and go back out and die, man. And for me, I don't ever want to stop learning. I know I don't got this. I understand that there's always something new to learn. And I understand this is just the beginning, and I don't care how many days you got, how many years, whatever. If you're not constantly and consistently trying to figure out something else, like why, challenging your spirituality, trying new avenues, asking questions, for me, that humility and that ability to stay teachable is absolutely vital in my recovery. And it's the only thing that can elicit, perpetual change in my life, because the moment I think I got it, I'm not learning anything. And then how can I change? And so my life is constantly evolving. Like I said, I got blessed, and I'm able to go on vacation, and I've been out here, and I'm talking to people about the Hope Shot. I'm talking to I went to go to a meeting in Denver. I ran into this guy, and we ended up going and getting coffee because there was no like in-house meeting, and we talked like old friends for a year, for like an hour, and it was amazing. And these things come from the work. All this work I put in, everything I've done has not only changed my perspective, it's changed my heart, it's changed my spirit, and I understood, like, for once, like, that being powerless doesn't mean I don't have power. It's the exact opposite, man. That means I take my power back, and I gain my voice back, but for once I'm channeling it towards something positive, and it's manifested all types of gifts and blessings into my life, and I'm so grateful for them. I'm living them out right now as we speak. You see my surfboard back there on the wall. I'm driving up the Pacific Coast Highway tomorrow. For a guy like, if anybody, people don't know my whole entire story, but for a guy like me, this is something special. I promise you. Anyway, Roy, great topic. It's great to see your face on here, man. And I love all you guys. Hey, I don't know if I met this guy at the hotel. He had a big book this morning, and I was like, bro, you need to come on Hope Shot. And he's at the Sober Living House. So if Alex, if you're watching, I hope you're here. Keep coming back. Tell all your peeps about us. Love you guys.
Thank you, Nate. This is awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying your time out there and living your dream. Caesar, real quick, before we get to the next one, you want to read off a couple comments? I know I seen the Ohio recovery place listening too, so shout out to them. Do your thing over there, Caesar.
Oh, my thing, huh? I like that. Paige, Paige White says, I struggle with fear 24/7. And I mean, that's a very relatable thing. I think everybody in recovery struggles with fears. We go in between fear and faith on a daily basis. Tabitha Dawn Nicholas, telling my story, huh? And that was, I believe, going to Nate. We got our boy Jerry, change, a main building block in recovery. Yeah, Angel, always saying hello, giving us a shout out. Melissa, amen. You guys are doing amazing for recovery. Well, we appreciate you, Melissa. Melissa came on here and told her story on a Wednesday night and faced her fears, and it came out amazing. Nice. One more from Jerry. Love you guys. One day at a time. Recovery is possible if you work for it. We are living proof. Keep putting out the message. We're helping so many.
They're listening at the recovery
and then
house.
This is the one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Dayton, Ohio Recovery House, listening along with we. Thank you for all the experience, strength, and hope.
That's
well,
awesome.
Thank you, Dayton, Ohio, for tuning in, man. We love you.
Badass.
So real quick, man, thank you everyone that's participating. Man, leaving a comment, do us a favor. Share this for us. Let's get your friends involved. Let's get someone who might need to hear this. Let's spread a message of hope. You never know who this is going to fall on, man. And it's so important, and it's real super simple. Just hit that share button for us. Help us out. Let us continue to do what we do. And with that, I mean, I'm going based off of prettiness here, and I don't know if it's Caesar or John. Caesar John. I'm
a hard one, man.
Was just phenomenal. Go ahead, brother.
Who'd you pick, me or John?
John.
Go ahead, pretty John.
What's up, family? Yeah, sorry I was late. Today was crazy. I had Sunday's like our homework day. It's also bathe the dogs day, so that's why I was late. But I think this is a great topic, man. Really, we could touch on so many things. One thing that Nate said that rang with me is when he said we have to admit we were powerless, and I hate saying that. I've been listening to this other guy. He's amazing, and his name is Tommy Rosen, and he's got a YouTube channel. It's called Recovery 2.0, and he so eloquently breaks down the steps, verbally on camera. And man, this guy is amazing. And he said when he had first, how people, when they first come into recovery, and if it's 12-step based, you go into a meeting, you're totally lost. You don't understand anything about any of this stuff. And you look on the wall, and the first thing that you see is that you have to admit that you're powerless, And he said, like, he immediately shut down. And but he has these little things that he talks about. And he said when he looked at that first part, and he said, that I was powerless, he broke it down to himself that all it was is that he had less power than necessary in order to obtain recovery. So like, just he does this thing, man, with the steps. I highly suggest you check him out, Tommy Rosen, man. He's got a lot of really good stuff, and like as far as spiritual growth goes beyond 12-step stuff and all that. But so the power to change, man. I struggled with this thing everybody that knows me knows, man, from a very, very young age. Struggled with self, struggled with addiction, all of it. And somewhere, I want to say around 17 or 18, I knew I had a problem. I didn't know what it was, and I've had many attempts at this thing. Thank God for for the way the universe puts people in your life, because if there wasn't the people before me, or the people that were put in my path strategically in order to show me a sign of hope, I don't think I would be here on Hope Shot right now. I just there was a point, I think I was probably about 34 years old, 33. I turned 33 in county jail, and I was going on my way to prison again for the last time. And I remember just thinking to myself, man, I have to do something different. I need to change my life. Like I had no idea what it looked like. And I still had all these bright ideas, and but that's kind of where it began for me, and that was in 2010, um, and it wasn't until probably 5 years after that that I realized that I did not have the power to do it myself. I'd had many attempts at this thing. I've done, gotten in recovery and hung around it. I've made some meetings. I was the cool guy in recovery. Um, I was all those things, that we talk about and we joke about. But and for like I told my story on on Friday at the treatment center. And what I shared was, which I'm going to start doing this now, but my buddy introduced me and he went through the program with me in 2012 and he stayed sober the whole time. So he's, 9 years or whatever. And he tells a story about how, when I first got there, or he first got there, he was in such bad shape from alcohol and drugs, he couldn't even walk. And so, like, tell you the truth, I don't even remember this, but he said how much I had helped him out and made his bed and done all this stuff for him and talked all this good stuff about me. And he also said Johnny was the coolest guy in the treatment center, right? Ha 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 ha. And so when I started to tell my story, I said, okay, so I'll start with my sobriety date. It's 5/24/2015, right? But I was in this treatment center in 2012 with Dan. So that's what the cool guy in treatment got me. 3 more years of suffering, until I could realize that I could not do it on myself. I couldn't do it from any outside source. I had to look within. I had to search, man, and I had to make a connection to something bigger and better than myself, whatever it was. And man, how that thing has grown over the years. But all of us, it doesn't matter if you have a year, 6 months, 2 months. For me, man, I want to constantly be able to grow. I'll sometimes hit these spots where I'm ucky and discontented because I'm not moving forward. I'm not trying to grow. I say I remain teachable, but I shut down sometimes and I get into this groove until somebody from either my direct circle or myself says, man, this feels disgusting. Like I need to move in a different direction. I need to do something. Luckily, this program is designed, we're blessed, man, especially us. We have a group of guys, a group of women in our lives, man, that have adapted this lifestyle in a beautiful way. And, I don't know, man. I could never have done this thing by myself. I know that for a fact. Through and through. I have, proven to myself for 30 years that I couldn't do it for myself. And I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful to this process. I am grateful for change, man. And that's all from the pretty boy for tonight.
Pretty angry. Okay. Thank you.
Fucking guys.
No wonder you were the cool guy in rehab, looking like that. Oof.
Right. So let's do Justin first. That way we can comments before you close this out, Caesar.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Nope. Yes.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure. Thanks, Caesar. Appreciate you. Oh man. Man, I'm down here in Key West on vacation right now. It's pretty awesome. I'm in a damn motorhome. Go figure. Like in all my years, I never thought I'd be that dude in a motorhome driving down the road. Like I remember back in the day, you just like, I don't know, man. It was just like, it wasn't tangible to me to like go on vacation, rent a motorhome, like do normal family stuff. You know what I mean? And like, I took my whole family down here to the Keys to have a vacation. It's pretty awesome. I just had to like, dude, I was taking it all in as I'm driving this big, listen, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get to this power of change, but driving this big motorhome, dude, I'm like, dude, anxiety, going through small streets. I was freaked out a little bit, but then I got the hang of it, after like 3 hours of driving. And then it's like, oh gosh, man. All right, I think I got this. But boy, going into something new, that's that, just like the power to change, man, going into something new, that fear, the fear of something that holds you back, it kept me sick for so long. Like I can never get it. Like I wasn't worthy enough to have like recovery to change who I was. And it was so true. Like I still feel like it's a dream. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, still don't feel like I'm worthy enough of anything, because of all the shit I've done, all the crap I've caused, all the people I've hurt, I still feel like that scared little boy that just sits there and like, even on like regular normal stuff, but that shit will keep me from growing if I don't go through that fear and figure out, like, recognizing it. You know what I mean? Like, and listen, you guys help me more than anybody. You know what I mean? You guys help me to really ponder why these feelings come up and look at it and like dissect it a little bit in my life. And I didn't have that before. I didn't have people in my life that were like, hey man, you're being a douche, or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like, dude, you're just screwed up. You're a mess. I didn't have people to tell me I was a mess. They were a mess with me. Now I have people that will like, because sometimes we can't recognize things in ourselves that are going on. You know what I mean? We're the last ones to find out. Just like when I was using, I was the last one to find out. You know what I mean? And like when I'm a freaking mess, like, dude, this year has been like a shit show. and I had people sit me down and be like, dude, you're a freaking lunatic. I mean, we had some things go on, but like, we get through them and we try to grow through it. We don't go through it, we grow through it, and having people in your life that are placed in it to help you through those situations and actually tell you you're a fucking mess. Really, that's what it's about, man. And they help me to gain the power that I need in order to make that change. It's the people that have been placed in my life. And even when I first got in the rooms, the people weren't in there, but the people when I finally had the courage to change and get into the rooms and do my thing, those people were willing, and that's how I met all these people here, it's, you got to find your squad, man. It's like, dude, last night, man, we were at a wedding, bro. This fucking, like, people, we show up, man, for people. And like, it was such a beautiful event. Like, I love, like, James last night, he's like, dude, I love weddings. And I'm like, dude, I kind of do too, especially people that weren't supposed to do it. We weren't supposed to get married. We weren't supposed to be homeowners. Are you what? We were driving RVs, going to California, like going back to school. This shit wasn't supposed to be possible for people like us. Like, and to see all this stuff happening, dude, that's a freaking miracle, man. And like, dude, I don't shed tears, but I almost shed a tear last night, bro. I almost shed a tear today. Like, literally, because like I had so much gratitude, bro. Like, literally so much gratitude because of all the changes, man. Like, everything is just like, dude, in front of this RV, I was like, dude, I have like a 75-inch screen TV in front seat on this freaking thing. It's like a big old window and I'm viewing it, It's like, it was like HD, baby. You know what I mean? It was real, and it's like, you just like have to take it all in. And it's amazing, dude. And like, thank God I got that little baby bit of power to want to change, you know what I mean? The willingness, and I'm just grateful that I'm able to tune in, and like, this shit's important to me to tune into this, to do this, it is important to me. So I don't give a crap where I am, dude. I want to be on. I want to freaking try to spread a message of hope. So thanks thank you guys for hosting. Thank you, Caesar, for being the maestro. Thank you, Nate, for tuning on, our guest, and Johnny, pretty Johnny. Love you guys.
We just ain't gonna say James. Got it. Cool.
I did say James.
All right, man. So, actually, Caesar, we got anything in the comments?
Nope. No, I'm kidding.
Shout out to your wife.
Angel says, I fear not changing. That's the one that I've got up right now. There's a lot of talk about fear in the comments. I'm going to put it up as I say it. You got Art. I'm in fear of being a mess. I know I am. I'm working hard to change. I'm going to go. No, Nate, I want to talk.
All right.
Jeez. No, go ahead, Nate. You can jump in.
No, I just
let Nate talk.
I just wanted to suggest to Art, don't be afraid of being a mess. Embrace the mess. You know what I mean? Know that this recovery thing gets messy, man. That's part of it. You know, you can expect that. But I promise that if you figure out the aspects of why you're a mess, that you'll come out of it and it gets easier, bud. I promise. But don't run away from it, you know. Embrace that shit, because that's where you really start to discover some things about yourself. So
thanks, Nate. As always, we come up with a really cool nickname for Nate, like the Naterator or something. I don't know. I'm gonna
We already have it. He's
right there, nerd.
Yeah.
What is it?
Nate Stradamus. That's it.
Oh my God, it's glorious.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta get with the program. All right, so Caesar, real quick, man, we love to hear from you. If there's any time in, I'll chime in. If not, do your thug chisel. Let's hear that message of hope.
All right. Well, first off, Roy, thank you so much. Great topic. You know, when I was out there, the power to change, I didn't have the power to change. And we talked about fear a lot in the comments tonight. Not only did I not have the power, but I was fearful of change. No matter how bad things were in my mess, I knew my mess. I was comfortable in my mess. I didn't know what recovery would look like. I didn't know what all of that change would look like. And that's paralyzing sometimes. You know, I was comfortable going in and out of jail. I mean, I would tell you I'm miserable and I don't want to be in this, but that was my familiar. You know, my wife will tell you I'm institutionalized to the core, man. I still work and run in the same, like, I got a whole house, but I really only need one room, if you guys know what I mean. Like, I just, that's how I am. And, you know, I got to a point where I had one last opportunity. It was either go back and get locked up for a long stint or go to this rehab. And I asked the judge, I said, could you just send me up the road? Because I've done this before. You know, I've gone to rehabs and you're just wasting 6 months of my life and I'm going to go to prison anyway. So let's just skip the middleman and send me. And she said, no. I was like, wait, what? You guys send everybody to prison? What do you mean, no? She said, well, we know you know how to do time. We've seen you do it over and over again. We want to see you do recovery. You know, this lady was an angel, man, just a blessing. And I get there. I think this is like my 5th inpatient rehab. And I did something different. I went up and I asked this guy that brought in a message of hope into this rehab. I said, hey, man, can you show me how to do this? I had never, yeah, she's over there laughing. He said no. You know, I think you guys have heard this story plenty of times because I just got done sharing in a meeting that it was my 5th rehab and I could talk the talk and, you know, I could spit the game and I'm this junkie from Tampa and there's nothing new you're going to teach me and blah, blah, blah. And then I went over and asked him, hey, man, can you show me the way? And he was like, no, absolutely not, man. You could start calling me, though, because you just told me you're a bullshit con artist. But I did. I started making a phone call or two every single day. And eventually I made enough that he went and came and picked me up and started taking me to 12-step meetings and introducing me to everybody in his circle. And he showed me how to take the guilt, the shame, the excuses, all the bullshit that I had piled on me that kept me from being able to feel worthy of recovery. and he showed me how to work through that stuff, and it cleared me out, so that I'll use Nate's term, so that my source could actually get in on the inside, because I can't hear whatever you want to call it, God, my higher power. I can't hear any of that when I'm filled with guilt, shame, fear, remorse. All I can hear is my own self-centered thoughts, and it's poor me. Oh man, if you had my situation, you'd be high too. You probably would. I was, but that's not an excuse in recovery. So I was introduced to this power that I had never had in my life. And I see the power everywhere. There is power in energy. There's power in the people that are around me. And as long as I surround myself with the right people that are moving in the right direction, that want to grow, that want to keep getting better than they were the day before, I'm motivated to keep doing that. Justin's sitting in an RV in the Keys. Nate is sitting in California, will be in Oregon in the next day. They let him drive a rental car. I mean, come on, right? James is sitting in his own house. Johnny's sitting in his house. We're all in a place that we couldn't have dreamt we would be in just a few years ago. I mean, even whoever's got the longest amount of time on here, it ain't that long compared to how long we were out there. We all know how to lie, cheat, steal, and use. We're learning on a daily basis how to be responsible, good people, friends, fathers, brothers, and we get to do this. Is it easy every single day? Is it easy to keep striving for change and growth every day? Hell no. I mean, I want to say F it some days, not and pick up a drink or a drug, but I want to be lazy. And there's no room in my life to be lazy anymore. I've built a life that's on the foundation is service and helping the next guy and being the hand that reaches out to the next person. And there's just no time for it. I remember early on sitting around and asking, how am I going to fill all this time, man? There ain't no time anymore. The time is filled. I don't sit around worried about picking up a drug. I know none of y'all do. I mean, Johnny's in school plus work full time. If Nate's not traveling, he's working 10, 12 hours a day, or he's at shows at night and surfing first thing in the morning. All of us running businesses or being good employees and still doing our recovery thing and being fathers or dog setters or whatever we are, I don't know if anybody's told y'all, but y'all are kicking ass at life. And I mean, I don't care what anybody tells you out there. Everybody's fumbling through life, doing the best they can, whether they're in recovery or not, whether they've never touched a drink. Everybody's getting up in the morning and putting their best foot forward. We're doing it, and we're starting late in the game, but we are killing it. We're killing it. If you had told me that I'd be on a podcast, if you told me I had anything to offer on a podcast, reaching out to all these people, if you told me that 8 years ago, I'd have laughed. The only place they asked me to speak is when the judge said, stand up. That's it. I wasn't asked to speak anywhere else. I spoke in front of the judge's bench. So we have the power to change when we tap into the power. Me, I did not have the power. I tried every possible means within my own to stop the madness, and I could not do it. I always picked up again. When I admitted I was powerless, which, yes, just like everybody else, I don't like the term powerless. I didn't have the necessary power to stay quit. I could quit for a day or two if the circumstances were bad enough, or I was broke enough, or I couldn't steal anything. I stopped for a few days, but as soon as the opportunity for me to pick back up or steal something or whatever, I was right back off to the races. The only thing that's different this time is I have a power greater than myself, and I have a fellowship around me that wants me to win on a daily basis. They want me to do better day in and day out, and they don't let up. If I'm tired, they say stuff like, or Nate will say, "Oh, bro, but we get to." And I go, I don't want to hear we get to, bro. I want to watch cartoons Saturday morning and stay in bed. But hey, I get to get up and be of service. And it's true. When I was locked up, I always caught Saturday morning cartoons because I had nowhere to be. And I made sure I was in front of the TV before everybody else. So that was my spot. So I can miss some cartoons and I can miss some dumb crap to be of service and to be a better person. Justin, I don't know what you've got ability-wise from the RV. Did you want to go over any comments? Or do you want me to go back and forth? Because once I start talking, I stopped reading.
And that's you, boy.
That's all.
You're maestro.
I see. Well, let's see. Tabitha, it's okay. Found me a new home group, and it felt like coming home. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Boy, that is a good feeling right there. You know, I mean, when you walk in and you're welcomed and you find your people, you know, she had to change people, places, things in recovery. Like she said, her home group publicly shamed her, and that change was difficult, but I'm doing it slowly. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You know, it's my responsibility to be one of the faces of recovery. And if somebody goes out and burns their life up, they do not need me. Now, we have different views on this, but they don't need me to tell them what an idiot they are because they're walking back in the door knowing they feel like crap. So I tell them they're loved, you know, and if they want it, come get it. You know, we're here for you. If you don't want it, we'll still be here. Hopefully you make it back to come see us again. I don't want to cut it off too much, man. Come on, James. You got a little bit. There's a little bit of time.
All right. All right. So, man, good stuff tonight. Man, it's nice to sit back and go last and actually hear everyone. I ain't gonna lie. It's nice. So, like, I think of the topic, right? And I'm thinking power of change. Right. And I think there's two types of change that I'm going to talk about. And obviously the first type of change is like starting to get clean, scared to death, not knowing if it's going to happen, keep telling yourself the same old lie. Right. And like, I would love to sit here and be like, oh, use this spiritual principle. That's horse shit. If you're out getting high, you probably have no idea what a damn spiritual principle is. I didn't even learn them until I came to a fellowship, right? But what I could tell you that I think that somebody might be able to relate to, if you want the power of change, use the gift of desperation, right? Like the gift of desperation can be an amazing thing. And like, so, and we keep talking about this fear in these comments, right? Man, I hope that you guys do not forget that fear is a power greater than yourself. And fear is nothing that can, like, fear used properly can push you to limits you've never, ever dreamed of. Like, fear is not always a bad thing, right? Like, we put this stigma on fear that, like, oh my God, it's going to cripple us. No, it's not. It's literally what keeps us alive. It's what pushes us to be better. It pushes us out of sticky situations. Like, it doesn't have to cripple us. When we use that gift of desperation, in the beginning, we can have a power to change. Because that gift of desperation is a power greater than myself too. Right? And like, it's, if it wasn't for the gift of desperation, and I'm not talking about like those times I'd sit in the bathroom and be like, dear God, I don't want to do this no more. Why are you letting me do this? And I push the plunger down. I'm not talking about like that gift of desperation. I'm talking about the guy that got up and was like, fuck it, I'm going to a meeting. I ain't got nothing else in the tank. Fuck, I'm going to a rehab. I ain't got nothing else in the tank. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that gift of desperation. I'm talking about that type of like, all right, dude, I got to do something different. I'm going to do something different. Not just mouth, right? Not just, oh, another foxhole prayer. So like when I think of power to change in the beginning, if you're new here and you don't know what you're doing and you're really sick and tired of being like sick and tired, then like use the gift of desperation, you know, and let's see where that can take you, right? And then I think like, all right, so you know, a few of us have got some time clean, right? And like the moment I don't think I have anything left to change, I think I'm doomed. Right now, I use that on the fence because I don't want to sit here and say like, give yourself a break. You're doing great, James. You're doing amazing today. But there's got to be something I'm looking at because I don't walk on water, and the only time I do, it's in the shower. You know what I'm saying? So like, I got some time for improvements, man. And so like, being clean and some years under my belt inside the program of my fellowship, like there's 3 spiritual principles that really come to mind of how to get to power of change, right? Like let's break it down. Like if we need the tools, and what I've always been taught is use the spiritual principles. Sometimes I have to ask myself, what spiritual principle am I not practicing, right? And then apply it. And like, so when I think of power of change, I think of humility, because I first have to understand that I need to change. I think hope, because I don't think without hope there can never be change. If I'm stuck in a victim mentality where nothing will ever get better and I don't ever see the light of day, then I'm just not ready for change. But if I want the power to change, then I need to embrace hope. Okay, maybe there's a chance, whatever I'm going through. You know what? Right now, I'm struggling. I feel like I'm not the best father I could be. Right? What's the power of change? Humility, watch and pay attention to people. What are they doing? What can I do that they're doing to make me a better father? Right? Hope. Okay, well, if it's working for them, maybe it can work for me. Right? And then, like, the third one I think of is faith, man. Because without it, like, if I don't believe that everything is going to be okay, then what am I doing this for? You know, like, what's the point? If I can't have some faith that this is going to work out, that I have an opportunity to be a better father, I have an opportunity to be a better husband, I have a better opportunity to be a better boss, a better friend. Like, if I don't want the power to change those things, then what am I really doing? You know, like I'm stuck in this vicious cycle of self-centeredness. You know, and yeah, so I think there's 2 different stages here of power to change. One is the gift of desperation, and other is once you've been clean, practicing some principles to get over the hump to change. So, yeah, once again, humility, hope, and faith is what I would say is how we get to power of change being clean today. That's all I got. So, anyone got some feedback? Anyone, where you at? What you got going? You want to hit some messages there, Caesar? Some comments?
Sure. Christina Fish. What's up, Christina? Grateful for 30 months clean as of yesterday. I'm still a mess and I fear things all the time, but I don't pick up no matter what. And my life is beyond amazing today. This meeting has helped me so much. Thank you all for my recovery. Good job, Justin, putting it up there. I'm so proud of you, bro. Hey, 30 months. Let's see. Tabitha. So grateful I tuned in tonight. And I guess I'll put it up there like Fancy Justin does. Got Rat Pack 76. What's up, brother? That's got to be somebody you know, James.
I can't. I can't see it. Whoever
That's
it is.
actually me. I commented on YouTube to my buddy.
Oh,
I
of course,
commented.
Rat Pack. Oh, I should have known. I should have known. The insecure gangster. My bad.
That's me, baby.
The
All
cool
day.
kid would have a friend named Rat Pack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just figured it was somebody you knew.
It's me.
Powerful message you're sending right now, and that's why you were speaking. That's Missy Thing while you were speaking, James. I want to put her other comment up. I let my fear kill me for the longest in the first part of my recovery. I went nowhere and almost relapsed many of the time. I let it consume me. Once I learned to turn my fear into faith, it was then that I was able to progress in recovery, the willingness to believe. Well put, Missy.
I just want to go on the record. If anyone sees me up here doing this, squinting, mind your business. I'm getting old.
Yeah, you see me? I'm getting so close. You could probably see my pores to be able to read these. And I want to shout out Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie? I'm putting your comment up. I know for me, when I face my fears, I grow, and it makes me want to be better and do it again. Thanks for sharing. Good stuff. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you, everybody who has put all their comments up. And Cheryl wants to share her story. Somebody's going to reach out to her because it says right there that they're going to in the DMs. So I trust that that will happen. And that is all you need to hear from me. Take it home, James.
All right. So I want to thank everybody for joining us on the Hope Shot. We will see you next. Wait a second. I see a hand raised. Get it, Nate. Get it.
Burning desire.
Yeah, I got a burning desire, man. No, I just want to share a little hope shot with you guys, man. So I'm surfing in Newport Beach this morning, and you know, this place is packed, you know, and I don't I'm not the best surfer, you know. I'm not that. I'm all right. I can catch waves and everything, so I'm always get weird and fearful and insecure, like, what are these guys gonna think of me, type shit, you know, when I'm going. But anyway, I ended up talking to these guys, and I told them my story. They're like, what are you doing? They were looking at my hand, which has 26 stitches in it right now. They're like, bro, what's up with you? And we just got to talking, and I shared my story, and I told them, man, 4 years ago, I stopped putting a needle in my arm, and now I'm able to be on vacation, surf over here for the first time. And man, these dudes were so excited and happy, you know, just regular guys, man. And we got around to talking about the Hope Shot, and they're like, so what is the Hope Shot? And you know, and I just ran it down. I felt like I just spouted the clarity statement, dude. And these guys, man, were just blown away, dude. They were like vibing on the fact that I was sober. And I've had like a couple of these discussions with people out here. And another guy yesterday, I said the same thing, like, yeah, and he's like, man, I got 30 years clean. You know, like, you know, I'm not afraid to see where I came from or who I am today. And man, the how people relate to it and vibe off it, man, is such a great feeling. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, man. It's wild, dude, the life that we get to lead today, and all due from the power and the ability to change. So yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got, man.
Nate's out there in California making Florida look good.
Yeah.
You're the only one doing it.
You didn't get those 26 stitches from a shark, right?
No, I got to fight with a head shark, man. I wish it was that cool, man. But it was just
Hedge clippers got the best of them.
It's happened to me. Well, listen, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Please, again, join us next week at 8 o'clock. Go live every Wednesday at 8 and on Sunday at 8, right? So with that, love you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you for having me.
Man, guys.
all right, Roy.
Take it easy, brother.